It is exactly the hour of 1300 hours o'clock. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Welcome to the UBC Weekend edition of the UBC News wrap-up. Otherwise, without further ado, let's get straight into the bulletin with the top stories that made news this week. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week reiterated a warning to people living in wetlands, urging them to leave immediately. The president was speaking at the closure of the third annual SDG conference held at Speak Resort in Munyonyo. Now, his warning comes at a time when National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, is evicting people who had encroached on the Luigi wetland. More details in this report.
President Yoweri Museveni, who had turned up to officially close the third annual SDG conference, seized the opportunity to castigate people who are criticizing the ongoing evictions of people from wetlands by National Environment Management Authority.
Why should you need a NEMA to be the one to stop you as if you are an idiot? Of course, I don't know why NEMA doesn't stop, but even NEMA should not take on that responsibility. Because the NEMA can't, do they have enough employees? I don't think so.
The president said the ongoing evictions by NEMA should have happened long ago if it was not for some local leaders who collude with people who encroach on wetlands.
The NEMA should work through the local governments. Just tell the Muruka chief, if you find anybody in the swamp, we shall go for you. For the Muruka chief and the Gombora chief. Because they are the ones who live there. Why don't they stop these people? I have already written an executive order, I think, mentioning this. I don't know why it was not followed up. Now, when you hear these people claiming, oh, this one, they have been there for a long time, how? I fought in the Royal Triangle. I know every swamp there. I fought at the Luigi when I was capturing the camp. There was nobody in the swamp.
The third annual SDG conference focused on highlighting Uganda's development journey in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The president said Uganda is on the right path of development, but labeled corruption as being the biggest stumbling block in achieving the desired socio-economic transformation.
Because we cannot let down our people down. The other day we were celebrating the Heroes' Day, people who died to save our country and to develop it, but you get money being diverted by corrupt people. I think the IGG has estimated 10 trillion shillings being diverted from development. That money is 10 trillion per year. In 5 years, we would tarmac all the roads that we need to tarmac.
Susan Ngongi Namondo, the UN resident coordinator in Uganda, warned that the Ugandan government risks losing its international development partners if corruption is not dealt with urgently.
The unfortunate stories that we read in newspapers about mismanagement of public funds not only impacts value for money in terms of the taxpayers, but also discourages potential inflow of other development financing, such as grants.
At this event, Uganda Third Voluntary National Review Report and the Leave No One Behind Assessment Report were launched.
This year's SDG conference is focusing on Uganda's Third Voluntary National Review Report to be presented at the high-level political forum in New York in July this year. Your Excellency, I wrote to you last month informing you about Uganda's confirmation among the 38 countries to present her third voluntary review report during the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development.
From this conference, the Leave No One Behind Assessment Report highlighted a reduction in Uganda's poverty rate from 45% to 20% due to the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Diano Olwen Peters, UBC News in Kampala.
The National Environment Management Authority told all people claiming to have possessed land titles in Luigi wetland before 1985 that they are having irregular titles. Now, according to Dr. Akankwasa Barirega, the eviction exercise of Luigi wetland occupants is guided by all laws, and all those being evicted are illegal occupants.
Luigi wetland restoration that started in May 2024 has continued amidst the mixed reaction on wetland occupancy and manner of eviction. The restoration, now at 20%, intends to have at least 1,526 acres of the degraded wetland restored in the areas of Nansana, Nabweru, Waise, Usega, and Chengera, among others.
We've been warning and rewarning and rewarning. Some have received restoration orders even more than 3 times. Even now we continue to serve. As I speak, people are being served fresh restoration orders even when they received previous ones.
The over 1,000 illegal occupants of the wetland, mainly homesteads, have so far been evicted since the beginning of the exercise. Among those evicted were also those who claimed to have titles and bona fide occupancy of the wetland. In response, the Executive Director, NEMA, Dr. Akankwasa Barirega, clarified that the titles that they are referring to ceased to be with the 1995 Land Act and wetland restoration laws.
Previously, there was no law prohibiting usage, but the colonialists would advise you on the title they would put encumbrance. In 1995, the Constitution entrenched protection of wetlands, and in 1998, the Land Act prohibited titling of any wetland, forest reserve, water body, lake shore, river bank. So it had the titles before 1995.
He noted that even with the bona fide occupancy, the usage of this land in question remains subject to regulation in accordance with the law.
A title is means of ownership. Now, when you own land, usage of it is subject to land use planning, physical development planning, and environment planning.
Dr. Akankwasa reminded all those seeking litigation that the eviction is in conformity and highly supported by the Land Act and environmental laws and policies.
First of all, the people who have been removed, it's not true that they have been there for 40 years, for 60 years, as they are alleging. This is, again, malicious blackmail. We have satellite images that can show you what was there 10 years ago, what was there 20 years ago, what was there 30 years ago. So I challenge anybody who says he was there 60 years ago or 40 years ago to bring that evidence, and we compare with our evidence. We have evidence that these invasions are recent, they are not 40 years.
He called on all those still occupying wetlands to harmoniously vacate, and also cautioned those sharing malicious videos and pictures.
They are in the wetland, but they want to first be pushed. It's not a good idea. We would request kindly the people to remove their property peacefully, to relocate peacefully, so that by the time we reach there, we don't have confrontation. So we've seen malicious posts on social media that you see they are removing you, then tomorrow an investor will come and establish there, tomorrow so and so will come. All of these are malicious posts. We are aware of this blackmail.
It is worth noting that developments in wetland is highly prohibited except a few developments that conform with wetland conservation like fishing, papyrus growing and sport hunting, only upon clearance from government. In his response this week, President Museveni asked all those occupying wetlands to appreciate the magnitude of the problem caused by the destruction of wetlands rather than blaming NEMA over a noble cause.
Don't you have eyes to see a swamp? You yourself. We don't need NEMA. Who doesn't know what a swamp is? Ekshara, if you don't know it, I can tell you in Rinyankori.
He asked everyone in the wetland to positively and voluntarily live without being pushed away.
So I think my appeal to the people in the wetlands, please, I don't want the Basarikere to be Bakambwe. They should give time, say, please go and the people go by themselves. And I've seen that some people are willing to go from Nabweru. I saw it on the TV.
Settlement in the wetland is prohibited by the environmental protection laws. With emphasis from NEMA, the restoration exercise will continue uninterrupted across the country. Susan Naonga reporting for ABC TV.
And the third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Nakadama, and Minister in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Balam Barugahara, launched Engender Youth Mentorship Rural Program and Skills Center in Wante Village, Maganda Parish, Imanyiro Sub-County in Mayuge District. Now, the center aims at curbing the high numbers of teenage pregnancies, which pose various challenges in the area. According to data available, over 60,000 teenage pregnancies are reported almost every year in the eastern part of Uganda. Now, the Skills Center, launched by Rukia Nakadama and the Youth and Children Affairs State Minister, Balam Barugahara, is partly to offer economic empowerment to young girls and teenage mothers to mitigate the repeat pregnancy.
Omwana ow'obuwala bw'obanga waliwo defilement case ekino bulina kunkiranga nze tibandita mu poliisi koba mbu mutabani wange yadifairinze omwana ow'obuwala ekyo nakiroba nabakuba nti ogwo timundetanga omulenzi bajje bakole ki bajje bamusibe n'abakuba bamaama n'abazaire abasaada omwana bw'abanga bamudifairinze mulekere kubuyikirira nsonga dino. Ate sebo Minister wa Youth sebo Honorable Balam, abaana bano abandi abadifairinga baganda baabwe bababa baabwe banina baabwe bakoja baabwe baneiba baabwe era bwe tubuuza abaana bano bona buno tuli muntu ayemereze ku wano ibaawe ezirajja kwemerera ekyo kikukakasa nti kyendikoba nekyo ekituufu.
So I've encouraged the elders in the village to inform their young men and men to abandon this habit of disturbing these young babies so that they grow. Because when you give birth, when you're a baby and you give birth to a baby, you become a baby. You are contributing to poverty. So the poverty keeps raising from poverty to poverty to poverty. So a poor man becomes poorer, a poorer becomes poorer. It is really unfortunate and it's so hurting.
We are supporting them to actually get sustainable empowered economically, socially, psychologically, but above all, we need a 360 empowerment.
The Minister for Land, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has returned to Gomba District to iron out land-related matters, mainly those raised during this year's Heroes' Day celebrations on 9th June 2024. Minister Nabakova held discussions with tenants, landlords, local leaders and land experts, among others, at Gomba County headquarters in Kanoni Town Council. Details in this report.
Every 9th June, Uganda commemorates National Heroes Day. With this year's celebrations held in Gomba District, land matters took center stage at the event. The key concern was that of landlords soliciting for tenancy fees beyond the constitutional standards of 10,000 shillings, thus prompting the president to discourage the practice. To track and trace the genesis of the story, Lands Minister Judith Nabakova has this week returned to Gomba District. The sensitization meeting convened at Gomba County headquarters in Kanoni Town Council was attended by tenants, squatters, landlords, leaders and other stakeholders. These were from the areas of Nkwale, Chitemu, Kasaka, Kanoni, Kome, Kabulasoke, Nswanjeri and Impenja, among others. The meeting interested itself in a number of land rates.
ne tufuna landiroodi ne tujja n'abo balandiroodi ne batweyanjulira waite ebbanga ttono teryaweza mwaka ne tufuna landiroodi oli gwe baaguza
ne batugamba ng'omutaka tetulina kusimba mmwanyi ku kibanja nga tomaze mulaba, toyina kusimba bitooke nga tomaze kulaba mutaka, toyina kuzimbako nnyumba nga tomaze kulaba mutaka. Ekyamazima nawulira nga nnyigiriziddwa, mukama wange oba bba wange n'ayimuka n'abuuza.
Minister Nabakoba tasked one of the accused landlords, John Muhwezi, to explain himself following allegations of extortion leveled against him.
Kasitambwanga mubamanyitira kuganye muwandike bwe muwandike balwa muziweeko chairman wa LC1 muzitwalire ku Gongolola muzitwalire ku district nange nga minisita muyinza okumperezako kubanga tetwagala enkyago eyagambe nti mwagaana mubadde ku ttaka litabamanyi kubanga mubadde temuwa busuulu.
In return, Nabakoba directed Muhwezi to remit back payments of extra charges solicited from his tenants.
Those who were evicted from their land or their bibanja without court orders, I've directed CID Gomba and DPC to go and return those people on their pieces of land. Because where does somebody get powers to cut somebody's coffee, somebody's matoke in this day and era without a court order? Because you are a landlord, without even compensating, it is legal and not acceptable. So I have directed the DPC for such cases, those people must be returned on their bibanja, unless when the landlord has a court order. But without a court order, those are illegal activities and they cannot be accepted.
She notes that as landlords continue hiding and declining to receive tenancy fees from willing members, government is considering opening up accounts for them to remit payments and compel landowners to pay.
And more, State Minister for Health in charge of primary health care, Honorable Margaret Mohanga, has expressed concern over the increased teenage pregnancies in the districts of Kasese, Kabarole and Fort Portal City. The minister attributed this to reluctance of parents failing to educate their children on the issues of early sex.
Elevating St. Paul Health Center 4 to a hospital status, a facility which is under South Rwenzori Diocese. She said that parents have a role to play in educating their girl child on the dangers of early pregnancies.
We are also fighting it in Kabarole. It's really high in Fort Portal City, even Kabarole district. Very high. Abana baitu abato. Mubaze nabo abazaira muleke kuba absent. Be in your children's lives. Stop teenage pregnancies.
She commended religious-based dominations in Kasese for making health issues a priority. She advised the population to eat nutritious foods as a way of fighting diseases.
And I want to commend Dr. Kiyonga's words. He has told you that if you eat well, live in a cleaner environment, you will really have very few diseases. Because as Minister of Health, 75% of the disease burden is non-communicable or preventable.
Former Defense Minister Dr. Crispus Chiyonga also emphasized the need to have the food in home. He thanked government for the support it's extending to Kasese district, especially in areas of health.
Because we are in a time when food is scarce, when money is difficult to get, and if we don't tell people, they will make mistakes. I have sponsored a special program on the Bishop's Radio, Radio Messiah. I'm also going to move to Radio Guide. Every day I'm telling people about food. Because once you have food, then you can do other things.
During the celebrations, the Bishop of South Rwenzori Diocese, Right Reverend Arnold Wadulo, requested government to revise the policy of withdrawing government health workers from private health facilities.
I pray that you look at the hard area that we live in, and mainly the church that has a long arm in supplementing government efforts as far as health is concerned.
Bishop Wadulo, however, thanked government for granting St. Paul's Health Center for a hospital status, which he believes will go a long way in addressing a great number of health issues.
The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has urged people in Kanungu to embrace different government programs for economic transformation. The minister said this during the launch of the Nyekundire group of Kanungu district, and where different women groups are set to benefit from different women empowerment programs in Kanungu district. Now this follows the launch of the different women groups by the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi.
During the launch, Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, also urged the people of Kanungu to take part in different government programs like Emyoga and Parish Development Model.
Parish Development Model, Emyoga, programs ezo mulebe mwazenjumbiramu esente ezo nemwe mwazitunga.
Minister introduces skilling programs where teenage and young girls are benefiting from tailoring and salon skills. Groups like Nyakundire have benefited from the program.
These groups have been empowering women by creating activities where all the women benefit.
This money shall be put in association, we shall borrow it, we return it with an interest, all to fight poverty.
During the tour, Minister Baryomunsi also supported different schools in Kanungu district, where he donated scholastic materials.
We didn't expect such, because the minister has visited us for the first time, and we didn't expect him surely. So he has given us the seats for our children, and we didn't have enough surely. The seats were not enough, so he has supported us a lot.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has been applauded for continued peace and stability in the country, especially in Adjumani district. The commendations were made by Asiku James, the director of Mother Teresa Preparatory School at Juman, who says that with the NRM leadership, peace has prevailed in the country, something that has attracted people from neighboring countries to settle. More details in this report.
For long, northern Uganda suffered war and instability by the Lord's Resistance Army, leaving many traumatized and nursing war wounds. James Asiku, the director at Mother Teresa Preparatory School in Adjumani, applauded President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for his role in restoring peace and stability in Adjumani district.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the government of Uganda, NRM government, under the leadership of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for enabling us with peace and stability that enable us to operate schools.
The rebel group's activities had for long jeopardized service delivery, especially in the education sector. But now, with the availability of schools in the region, there is hope that the education sector will thrive and benefit Adjumani residents and people from neighboring countries.
Reference to the situation of recovery from the post-war trauma in the northern Uganda caused by devastating activities of the Lord's Resistance Army, NRA, and the impact of HIV/AIDS, moral degeneration, and poverty in our society.
Asiku says out of the over 600 pupils at the school, half of the population are South Sudanese.
And this peace and stability has attracted South Sudanese schools. As such, we have enrollment of 635 pupils, both in nursery and primary. Among these, more than half of this enrollment is South Sudanese, and also most of these pupils are the girls.
Marion Awori and Edwin Nyachwara for UBC.
The chief executive of the Presidential CEO Forum, Irene Birungi Mugisha, has employed all local farmers, including the South Sudanese refugees who settled in Terego district, to embrace value addition as the only means that can deliver them out of poverty. Birungi, who was delivering her message during the graduation of 103 farmers from the host communities and refugees at the Delight Farm Institute in Noya district, says that land alone will not boost farmers' efforts of acquiring wealth unless they acquire modern agricultural practices, including value addition.
As 103 farmers from the host communities and refugee settlements in Terego district graduated from the Delight Farm Institute in Noya, the chief executive of the Presidential CEO Forum, Irene Birungi Mugisha, encouraged farmers to take value addition seriously.
The key message from the president has been adding value. Uganda is a blessed country. So many resources, so many minerals, fertile land, but we have been producing at giveaway cost. Because you harvest such mangoes and they are only exported as they are. They are perishable, not that, but they are perishable. So why not add value? In the mango you can get powder, in the mango you can get the pulp, in the mango you can get the one for the table, and also you can also be able to chew it as a snack when it is dried. She's investing, she's fabricating some machines for drying. So this is the innovation that we are talking about. I know government has come up with innovation funds, so it is, we shall see how best we can encourage such farmers to also benefit from these incentives that government has brought on board.
Mrs. Mugisha also tasked the graduates to use their network of suppliers to establish themselves in the business world. She also pledged to support Delight Farm in establishing a factory in Noya district. Dr. Julian Adieri Omala, the CEO of Delight Uganda Farm Institute in Noya, noted that with funding from the UN Women and the implementing partner, Waiteka Peace and Development Initiative, a non-government organization, her module, Adieri Module, which emphasizes hands-on skills, has benefited nearly 300 refugees and farmers from host communities this year alone.
I say this is a gift. Me, my husband and my children, we donated to the people of the North, this institute. And we started our model, outdoor hands-on skilling, for the season crop, quick money, and fruits for sustainable income. These people, they have learned, they have mastered, and we would pray that this model will be duplicated in the whole of Uganda. We are tired of hiding poverty.
As I have come now, if you give me 1,000.
The Uganda Heart Institute, in conjunction with Jinja Regional Referral Hospital, is conducting closed heart surgeries for children between 4 months and the age of 4. Now, the surgery is the first of its kind in Jinja Regional Hospital as the country spearheads decentralization of 16 regional hospitals as centers of excellence in general medicine and cardiac services.
That's why I'm here.
Like a readmission. Those are babies who need thorough, detailed examination and medical checkup. So send them to Regional Referral Hospital Jinja. We have the machines, and the problem is common. Right now in my pediatric cardiology register, I have 350 babies. And each week, I run the pediatric cardiology clinic on Friday, and each week we get 15 new children referred to us for evaluation. So the problem is real,
In Kayunga and another in Entebbe. The issue is, each of these places the government has put in money to improve, put up some of the structures that can help, and that is why you have a new ICU. Yes. We have come to test it, whether it can do serious work, Mr. Chairman.
Jemulago lugaira luntawanikiza irala transport ayengo okujja nga tuli kunoonya bitongole ebinaatuyambako.
Well, congratulations to the hospital. Now, farmers under their umbrella organizations, Uganda National Farmers Federation, UNFFE, have called upon government to make the subject of agriculture compulsory in schools as a vehicle to luring the youth to appreciate the take-up of enormous yet untapped opportunities in the sector. This comes at a time when there are allegations that majority of the unemployed youth prefer gambling with their lives in other sectors and not agriculture due to the perceptions that it is hectic and tiresome.
Whereas agriculture is largely identified as a sector with the potential of providing employment opportunities to young people, majority youth continue to shun the sector. According to reports, agriculture's contribution towards the country's GDP increased by 30% in 2023 as compared to 24% in 2022. Kaumi Perez, the Deputy Executive Director of Uganda National Farmers Federation, points at this as a solid reason for preparing the youth to participate in agriculture.
Promotion of multi-stakeholder partnerships and interventions that support young people in agriculture through organizing fora for ministries, departments and agencies, private sector, NGOs to share relevant information about their work with the youth, but also mobilize and empower youth to participate in their intervention.
Accordingly, farmers through their umbrella organization, the Uganda National Farmers Federation, are calling on government to make the subject of agriculture compulsory, with the view that it will help mold the young generation into appreciating the sector.
We suggest that agriculture should be a compulsory subject so that we equip these young people at an early stage to embrace the sector, but also to start identifying the different opportunities along the sector.
This was during a media engagement on preparations for the upcoming 3rd National Agriculture Education Show, where the First Lady and the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, is expected to preside over as chief guest. This year's National Agriculture Education Show, slated for 24th to 29th of June, will run under the theme Young Innovations, Transforming Agriculture for National Prosperity.
The National Agriculture Education Show is specifically to interest, to attract, to retain, to skill young people. And that is why this particular product is targeting these young people.
Charity Marion Imnat and Kimono Dokas, UBC News.
Over 1,000 people have been treated for different diseases by the Chinese medical team at Kingfisher Oil Field, Buhuka landing site in Changwali Sub-County, Chikube District. They were treated for malaria, tuberculosis, hypertension, bilharzia, cough, diarrhea, eye infections, skin infections, among others. The medical camp was organized by Sinok Uganda Limited, the operators of the Kingfisher Oil Development Field in Buhuka, Changwali.
Dr. Tang Hua, the team lead of the Chinese medical team, says the free medical treatment was intended to improve on the public health in the area and also contribute to economic development.
Chinese people love peace and cherish lives. As medical personnel, through medical education, routine checkups, and treatment for disease.
Louis Zangdong, the president Sinok Uganda Limited, explains that malaria, tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS have remained a serious concern in the area. He has called for increased health education, disease prevention and management in order to reduce these diseases.
Healthcare services distribute valuable healthy resources and emphasize earlier screening and treatment of congenital healthy diseases, particularly for children.
A counselor at the Chinese embassy in Uganda reveals that China wishes to join hands with Uganda to carry forward the spirit of China-Africa friendship and cooperation.
We are leaders of both sides will map out a new blueprint for China-Africa political comprehension and bring more benefits for the two peoples.
Kikube District Vice Chairperson Vincent Opio and David Agori, the in charge of laboratories in Kikube District, urged Sinok Uganda Limited to provide an ambulance to the area.
The issues of the ambulances have been mentioned, and more so for this facility here. In case we have one here stationed here to do, I think, to help the wananchi in the referral system from the health center here to the other facilities.
Then another request is on emergency equipment. For example, oxygen cylinders, and then some machines like suction machines. These equipments are very vital if they are within the facility.
Some of the beneficiaries appreciated this Sinok noble cause.
Amanya gange nze Namutebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere weewaawo abafere gye bali naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable. What is a dream? What does it mean to you? To her? To them? It's time we dare to dream anew. Dream bigger, better, bolder. Let's dare to dream of tomorrow, today, of someday, of the hope that comes with change, of a change that transforms lives. That glimmer in your eyes, the prospect of maybe, of all the hopes that we carry. It's the promise of enjoyments, co-enjoyments for you and your mates. A dream keeps us going. It's the one thing that drives us, inspires us, motivates us. One goal, one hope, one dream. With the Uganda National Lottery, your dream can become a reality. Bigger is here. What's your one thing?
And now in the world of business from this week, business proprietors, in Busoga have expressed concerns over the high tax levied on them, saying that it will leave many out of business. In a dialogue organized by Equity Bank, the chairman, Uganda Tourism Board, Daudi Migereko, told the business owners to abide by the taxation laws of the country, but find ways of getting government incentives such as GROW to support their businesses. Now, in this development, Equity Bank announced the Tupange business that is aimed at consolidating challenges for small and medium-sized enterprises. The Equity Bank's Tupange business engagement at the source of the Nile Hotel attracted business entrepreneurs and financial experts who exposed members on financial literacy.
Today we are happy to be here at source of the Nile Hotel, and our theme is Tupange business ne Equity Bank. Our target is mainly small and medium enterprises customers. So we are here to help talk to our customers to make better decisions that can have business growth for their businesses. One of it is we are providing trade solutions whereby we want to help our customers look for market of their goods and services that they are producing within our customers. And we are hoping that one will be able to benefit both the customer and the bank. Two, we're educating them about financial literacy, how to manage their finances to see that the business can grow. Tupange business ne Equity, we are providing solutions for our customers to see that their businesses grow. We have many products that want to encourage our customers, like trade finance. We have asset loans. We have SME business loans, working capital.
And then in a bid to improve access to boost local businesses, Kabale district officials alongside the Ministry of Works and Transport have launched the construction of the Chitivya Bridge and rehabilitation of a key access roads. The project, valued at 2.2 billion shillings, will see a 6.8 kilometer stretch of the road, the Chitivya Mishundo Kabanyonyi Road in Chanamira sub-county, undergo rehabilitation.
We thank you for accepting to ensure that the network in this Katakwi district is covered. Thank you very much. This is
Construction works on the Chitivya Bridge and Chitivya Mishundo Kabanyonyi Road include site clearance, grading, gravelling, drainage improvements, and an expansion to a width of 7 meters. Speaking as the chief guest at the launch and site handover, Ndora East Member of Parliament Honourable Wilfred Niwagaba credited himself and Kabale District Woman Member of Parliament Honourable Catherine Atwakire for securing the funding through the Ministry's District, Urban and Community Access Roads Project.
Ministry bahire okutukorera orurutindo hamwe na kilomita mukaga no buceka 8 bwo rugudu. Uwazire kurugaha sere hariya okanyegera Chitivya kategure okatungukira nkahe Kabanyonyi.
He also expressed hope that the improved infrastructure will lead to a flourishing agricultural sector and other businesses in the area.
Kigezi nimwe muri kuza kuba mwine orugudo rurungi orukirayo burungi. Nyaburamwe orurutindo n'orugudo rwamara kuhwa niwe na Catherine nitwani twishi.
Honourable Catherine Atwakire Ndamira echoed the same sentiments. She, however, encouraged residents to continue supporting government initiatives.
enkuuto turenda ngu tuzikore amarwariro nyanja kuriya twatireyo wodi twagishakara murareba hari nankari yari nitimaziba twatireyo wodi twagishakara twatahisha mero twarishakara abenkutorora bari kuza kukora ezishane na umunsimira ba government.
Locals were also urged to cooperate with the contractor, Coed Construction Limited, for a smooth execution of the project, which is expected to be completed within 1 year.
And then MTN has also injected a total of 250 million shillings to support various projects in Ongogonja Seed School in Katakwi district. More details in this report.
Accepting to ensure that the network in this Katakwi district is covered. Thank you very much. This is going to address the issue of security, and security is paramount. You realize that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he is trying to address the 6 principles of development, of which number 1 is security. Without security, MTN, even you, would not be here.
We also provided 20 computers, which you can see here in the background. These computers will come with free internet for a year for the students, which will then allow them an opportunity to not only just interact with the wider world on the digital platform, but also get a chance to be able to download curricula that is available for them on the internet to be able to use in the schools. Committed and actually broken the ground today in terms of building up for them a kitchen that is required to help them in feeding of the students. We have provided them with a water tank system. We have helped them to set up a school garden. Also together with our partners, ATC, provided 80 panels that is going to provide a solar system that is going to provide lighting for the school and also be used to power up the water pump.
Promise of a girls' dormitory is going to help us market ourselves, and we may realize that next term the number will swell, and then come next year the enrollment will increase. Many of these students who had run away to Katakwi Usuk and Katakwi High may come back.
And in our sports news, Cedric Babu Ndilima, the Patriotic League of Uganda Vice Chairman, Greater Kampala Metropolitan, has advised Ugandans, especially the youth, to participate as much as they can in sports to enable them improve their lives. Babu said this during MK Sports Gala at Entebbe, which was hosted by the Mayor Entebbe, Fabrice Rulinda. Rulinda said that sports has a lot of opportunities which can support someone earn a living. In the games played, PLU Entebbe defeated Busi FC, SFC played against ONC, while MKFC played against Mazowezo FC.
Conditionally, it is what brings us together. This is an initiative of the MK Sports Club, Mazowezo, different contributors, different organizers, and what we're trying to do as the Patriotic League of Uganda is to bring Ugandans together to find better ways to develop Uganda and better ways to make people understand the value that they have as Ugandans.
Very much aware the Patriotic League of Uganda promotes sports. We are promoting a very big talent that is untapped in this country. The youth, there are many youth of this country who have a huge potential in sports, but it is untapped. They are deep in villages, they are all over the country, but they find it difficult for them to access some of these amenities. So as PLU, we are coming out to say, I think if you have a talent, come and we see which talents do you have.
So all the teams that played, thank you so much. This was our dry run. Vice Chairperson, this was our dry run as Entebbe and as Wakiso to see if we can utilize sports to come together and celebrate.
MK Sports FC. Thank you very much, Cash Consult.
Chibuli Senior Secondary School Old Students Association are soliciting for 450 million shillings to complete Haji Kawasi complex. Kawasi, the former head teacher of the school, is being recognized for his efforts promoting education and sports for more than 20 years.
10 minutes before they come back for the next round. And the next round is the fight.
Do something, give back something. So create those alumni associations, but with a view to go back and create some development. The power of numbers is amazing. If we integrate using numbers, assuming we are 1,000 here like we can, and every one of us leaves 200,000 here, that would be 200 million. That's an amazing step. If we did that, every single year would raise $1 billion in 5 years, and probably it would do a lot. That's the power of numbers that are objective.
We are looking for about 420, 450 millions to complete a building that was started by our 4 office bearers. About 2000, 2002, when Al-Haj Kawasi retired, being actively in the civil service, the old students then put their hands together to find a befitting project through which he would retire, but he remembered. So we initiated a block, a 3-story block at the entrance of the school to house a clinic or a mini hospital, but also some other offices for any other works that we required.
So tulire sanyu lingi nnyo, nze omuku balina omukisa ogwo nasomera wano nensomesaawo ate Katonda nanyamba nankomyawo ate ekiseera ekiwanvu ekisinga naliwo.
Okitunuulira engeri y'emyaka 22 egikiyiseemu nga tekinnayongerwako pulaani gye baakuba ey'okukituusa waggulu, nga kyetaaga okulaba nga kikyusibwamu. Kati abaana bange abaayita mu kibuli ab'omulembe guno nga bali wamu ne boodi ne bagamba tukole ekyenjawulo tumalirize ekizimbe.
And that brings us to the weekend edition of the UBC Lunchtime News. Thank you for being a lovely audience. However, do join us later on in the evening for our subsequent bulletins. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and have yourselves a lovely afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. This weekend on UBC.